Good morning, everyone. Thank God for another day. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. Again, good morning. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. Had a little trouble here going live. It's telling me I've been on for 10 seconds now, but we'll get straight to the International Sunday School lesson on this Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to all fathers. And the lesson is receive wisdom's gifts. It's coming from Proverbs 8 chapter, verses 8 through 14, then 17 through 21. So again, Proverbs 8 chapter, verses 8 through 14, and then verses 17 through 21. Chapter 8 derives from the wisdom literature in Egyptian society, from the goddess Ma'at, and even in today's Coptic Christian religion, the vows for truth, justice, comes from the Egyptian word Ma'at. Ma'at. So, and she is a woman. That's why the first 8 verses of chapter 8 of Proverbs, wisdom, justice, truth, righteousness, is described as a woman. Hear her. She's the voice crying out. So we'll read the verses and then break down the outlines, read the verses, and then go into the lesson. The first outline, Wisdom Speaks, is coming from verses 8 through 14. Again, that's verses 8 through 14. So we'll read those. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge with witty inventions. The fear of the Lord, to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. Okay, so let's break down verses 8 through 14. Wisdom speaks. So, again, if you look at the 8th chapter, verse 2, it describes wisdom standing at the top of high places by the way in the place of the paths. She cried at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. This is parallel to how wisdom is supposed to be in society. How the seeking of knowledge, truth, and doing justice and what is right is not only what we should do, but what we should do in our family, what we should do in our communities, what we should do in our states and our nations. In fact, it keeps a nation to follow after the wisdom of God, the righteousness of God, the understanding of God. So, all the words of my mouth are in righteousness, that they are in equity, they are right, they lead to prosperity. There is nothing forward. So basically, there's no struggle. Literally, it's not torturous. There's nothing immoral. So there's nothing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain. They are all straightforward. They are all correct. That understand it, to him that understand it. Now, if you're not, if you don't understand, if you can't discern, and if you don't want to diligently seek truth, wisdom, and knowledge, then you're not going to understand it. You're not going to want to understand it. You're going to basically flee from it. And this is a very important verse. They are all plain. The words of wisdom, what wisdom does, what it delivers, is all plain, straightforward to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. So, and the word knowledge here is being able to know, cunning, being aware. So, if we don't have our hearts fixed toward wisdom, toward doing right, toward hearing wisdom, then applying it in our daily walk in life, we won't be able to understand it even when it's straightforward. It'll only be right to us if we find the knowledge of it. So, wisdom again is the application of righteous knowledge that leads to favorable outcomes. So, verse 10 says, receive my instruction and not silver. Receive and knowledge and rather than choice gold. So receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. I often tell my children, I said, the more you learn, the more you'll know, and the more you'll have. And then the more you can give back and help others. So, this is that original wisdom passage. Receive my instructions. You have to be in an accepting position. Accept it. Fetch it. Get it. So receive my instructions and not silver. You're not doing this to get money, get the price of something. And knowledge, again, to know, the awareness, the skill to use wisdom, rather than choice gold. So rather than looking for that material gain, you're looking to expand your knowledge, understanding, and your wisdom. And that will lead to all of the material gain. So, for wisdom is better than rubies. Okay, so we know rubies are pearls, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. So, we're talking intangible versus tangible. Intangible is the gathering of the wisdom, the knowledge. It's intangible. Tangible is using that knowledge skillfully, which is wisdom, and getting the tangible. So that's where that verse is coming from. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge with witty inventions. So, yes, we're going to discover things from where we were, 25 years ago to where we are today. The prudence of it, the knowledge of it, witty inventions, devices, the inventions, whether they be of the use of good or evil, is up to us. The same internet that brings you access to books and learning is the same internet that brings you pornography. Your use of it, your application, shows your wisdom. Does it lead to you gaining a favorable outcome? So we have verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to what? Hate evil. The fear of the Lord, knowing who God is. Remember, that fear is a combination of, I know that God blesses and takes care of those who are righteous, and I know that God punishes those who are evil. So, knowing that, having that knowledge, the fear of the Lord is to what? Hate evil. Pride. Oh, that's a tough one. Arrogance. So, an evil way. So, an evil way is a route to do evil. Are we going towards evil? And a forward mouth. Again, forward, perversity is coming out. Things that are perverse. The mouth. We can go into a long dissertation on the tongue and the mouth. So we know Jesus spoke about, what comes out of the mouth. So do I hate? So the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Because when you have the knowledge and wisdom of God, you're going to hate what is opposite of where God is leading you, where God is showing you and giving you knowledge and wisdom and understanding. You're going to hate the opposite way. So counsel is mine. Counsel, advice, advisement, a purpose is mine. And sound wisdom, I am understanding, I have strength. So, again, I go back to that old African Arabic proverb. He that knows not, and knows not that he knows not, is a fool. Shun him. He that knows not, and knows not, he that knows not, and knows that he knows not, is ignorant. Teach him. He that knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Awake him. But he that knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. So, that's the voice that's crying out here in this first outline. The next outline will be coming from verses 17 through 21, wisdom's value. Again, this is wisdom's value outline in the International Sunday School lesson, and it will be the last outline. So let us look at that. I love them that love me, and those that speak me early shall find me. That seek me, early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. So, as the title of the lesson says, receive wisdom's gifts. So here you see her speaking of the gifts, wisdom, speaking, Mayet speaking, Ma speaking, which, it's funny because we, and as African Americans, we use that term a lot. Ma. Instead of saying mom, we say ma. Come on, ma. But anyway, that's maybe where that comes from. I don't know. But anyway, I love them that love me. I love them. Love. I have affection. I am a friend. I have affection. I'm a friend to those that seek me, to those that love me. I'm affection and a friend to them. Seek me early. Early shall find me. In other words, my cousin made a statement. He says there's nothing worse than an old fool. So seek wisdom early. Riches and honor are with me. So if you want riches, you want honor, seek wisdom. It goes back to that says, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you have, and the more you can give. Durable. So something of value, even as it gets old, it's an asset. Durable riches. And what? Righteousness. To do right. Morally. Justly. My fruit is better than gold. My fruit. Think about it. When you're seeking wisdom and knowledge, it's like a seed being planted in the ground. It grows, it waters, and then it gives up an abundance of fruit. Same here. That's what that description is describing. Literally. When we are seeking and studying the Word and going to reference materials and seeking more knowledge, that's that seed getting in the ground. That's that seed being fertilized. That's that seed being watered. That's that sprouting of the tree to give off fruit. And it's better than gold. Trust me, it's better than gold. Money can come and go, but the knowledge and the wisdom of how to get money, that's what keeps money. Anybody can get rich. Not a lot of people can stay wealthy. Think about that. Anyone can get rich, but not a lot of people can stay wealthy because, remember what it's talking about. It also used the word revenue, income producing. So my revenue, it continually produces. Think of it like a company. A company can have assets, but if it doesn't have earning assets that's producing income, generating revenue, that asset eventually depreciates. And then if you don't reinvest in that asset, reinvest in the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding, that asset can't grow. So this shows you the intelligence, how it was written in this verse. So we have the fruit. Then we have the revenue. And my revenue is better than choice silver, something static, firm asset. I am continually generating for you to obtain more silver, more gold. And we're not talking literally here, we're not going into prosperity preaching. We're talking about having the wisdom and the knowledge of God and using that and what it brings, what it naturally brings, not something that you have to go and seek, because you're going to be making decisions that are prosperous, that are revenue generating, that is fruitful. So it goes on and says, I lead in the way of righteousness. So if you're obtaining these fruit and these revenues, it leads in the way of righteousness, of doing right, of morality. In the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me, again we see the word love here. Love is more encompassing than want. When you love something, you have affection for it. You want to befriend it. So, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance. Now, here we have the word inherit, to distribute. An inheritance is the leaving of an estate or an asset to someone. So the gain, in fact, says the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. So even those wicked people who you see are being, who you think are being prosperous, eventually it's going to catch up. And that which they're storing up is actually for the righteous. So that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. So that's the lesson here. I'm going to give you some more in-depth regarding where some of these proverbs are coming from. And as I said, this particular chapter is a collection of the wisdom poetry of Egypt from the goddess Ma'at. And one of the things that was written regarding wisdom and righteousness and understanding is something written in the Middle Kingdom of Egypt regarding her. It says, the importance is the principles within the law and adherence to tradition as opposed to change, the importance of rhetorical skill, and the significance of achieving impartiality and righteous action. So this wisdom goddess, Ma'at, had a feather, and the feather was to be put on a scale to measure a man's heart, whether he had a heavy heart, which was evil, or a light heart, which is to do good. And in the Middle Kingdom, it was written that the Creator declares, I made every man like his fellow. And Ma'at called the rich, those who had wealth, to take care of the less fortunate. And it was written, and this is going to sound familiar, in the declaration this person wrote in regard to righteous action by this goddess of wisdom. I have given bread to the hungry and clothed the naked. I was a husband to the widow and father to the orphan. Now that sounds familiar, what we read in the Bible, spoken in various passages in the Old Testament, as what is our responsibility. Remember, Jesus said, when I was naked, did you feed? When I was naked, did you clothe me? When I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was in jail, did you visit me? These are the righteous actions that wisdom leads to. So it's important, that when we study the Word of God, that we make it part of our heart and we seek that knowledge and that understanding. And the more you know, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you know, the more you have, the more you have, the more you can give. And wisdom gives the most gifts. So thank you for this opportunity to go over the Sunday school lesson. Again, this is a brief overview. I know there are probably a lot of questions, but I greatly appreciate you all taking the time. Again, happy Father's Day. Take care. God bless.